So guys and girls, it's me again. I just wanted to do a sort of little update video really. I've not seen you in a couple of weeks. Anyway, for those of you that haven't seen my last little video, the introduction of the 328i Sport. Basically, I bought a 328i Sport on eBay. I won it for £1,200, which it was cheap for a 328i Sport. I mean, it was the cheapest 328i Sport that actually ran in the country by miles at the time. It was the cheapest one I could find anyway. It was also pretty much rust free, which is a major bonus, especially in this country where they salt the roads a lot in this country. So cars, anything older than 15 years old is usually loaded with sort of tin worm and rust. So this one here, there's one little bit of rust on it, and it's just surface rust. It's nothing to worry about. So that was the main idea. Now I bought it to transfer all the running gear and engine and everything from my old e36 M3 into, because the dreaded rust is catching up with that, and underneath it's been welded and then been welded and then been welded, and I'm just chasing it. It's too far gone. The car, it's do you know what? It's done us proud, this old M3, because it was my dad's before it was mine, and then I got it, and he had started welding it 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and I had to weld it. I've been welding it pretty much every year since. Every time I look at it, there's another wee pinhole, a wee hole somewhere, or the MOT guy picks up on a wee hole somewhere. So I thought, right, enough's enough. I'm fed up building this. I'm going to get a decent shell and transfer everything over. So that's what I've got with this 328. Now, I know a lot of you wanted me to sort of return it to standard, and I did actually think about doing that, at least in the short term. I actually got as far as acquiring, I managed to get, the rear bumper was missing if you remember. I managed to pick up a rear bumper in the correct colour. I've also managed to pick up a driver's door and a driver's front wing in the correct colour. The only panels that I couldn't get were the two worst ones, which were the passenger door and the passenger front wing. And I just can't find any in the right colour anywhere. Not only that, but because these wings and that they're all off of different cars, and although they're all Avis blue, the shades are all slightly different. They're from different model years and things like that, and if I put them on, it'll bug me. I mean, it would pass the 10-yard test, but that's about it. I think it would just annoy me. So I'm going to have to paint it anyway. And if I'm painting it, I thought I might as well paint it in a colour that I like. Now, I've been thinking about colours. I'm not taken by the Avis blue, to be honest with you. I think the best colour for an E36 by miles was Esterol blue. It's just a cracking colour. But the problem with that is there's loads of M3s, E36 M3s going about that colour. Also, I'd prefer a single stage paint, because they're so much easier to work with. And because it's going to be a track car, they get stone chipped and scuffs, and you're constantly blowing little areas in on it, just to tidy them up. I mean, every year for the past 3 or 4 years, I've given the front bumper at least a quick blow over, just to sort the stone chips out and stuff. So it's much easier if you use a single stage paint, and cheaper. So I think the paint colour I was looking at was Santorino blue. Now they do it on the E36 328i actually, or they might do it in other models. Albeit I think it's an individual colour, so you have to pay extra for it. You also got it on the E92s and the new M4 and things like that. And I just like it. I think it's a really nice blue. But if there's any other blues out there before I go and purchase the paint that you think would be good, it doesn't need to be a BMW blue. Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Ferrari, I don't care. So long as it's a single stage colour, I'm quite happy. If you've got any suggestions. I do like a light sort of, this colour blue is actually nice, but I think the Santorino's kind of like that, I suppose. But maybe lighter. I don't know if you've got a car that you can think of that's got a nice colour of blue, sort of let us know. In fact, that's a nice colour of blue, that, isn't it? Like that. We could do it. Spray bottle blue. Anyway, I don't really, that's kind of where I'm up to. It's not got to make sense to return it back to standard. The interior on the car is pretty beat up. It's in a bad way. The seats are worn out. The door cards are beaten up. It's going to cost probably £150 to £200 to bring them back to a sort of livable condition. Otherwise, it would just bug me. I wouldn't drive the car. So there's that. What else? Once the bodywork's done on it, I can then, if we respray it, I can make some videos of respraying it. So it would be very much a DIY sort of respray, because I'm not a spray painter. I have spray painted a car once, the M3 funnily enough, and it turned out not too bad, I don't think, for my first attempt, although I did learn a lot, and it took me about 2 goes. I probably painted every panel twice, and you can tell which panels were done last because the paint finish on them is a lot better than the ones that were done before it. Like the boot lid, for example, is a lot better than the front bumper. But I think that would make for some good content as well. There's got to be a mechanical aspect of it. I mean, when we're putting the M3 running gear, because the M3 engine, the M3 gearbox, axles, everything is totally different on the M3. The suspension arms, even the strut top mounts are different on the M3. Everything, so that'll all need transferred over onto the e36, and then we'll go for there, and we'll put all our sort of roll cage and our bucket seats. That's the other thing. There's no point in restoring the interior if we're going to just pull it out and put bucket seats in. Doesn't make any financial sense. Now, we do have a few track days left to do this year. I've got a couple booked at Croft, one at the end of this month, one at the end of next month. And we've got some, there's normally a few cheap track days going in November. You get them for £100 and things like that. So it's kind of hard to turn your nose up at them, really. But after that, the car's probably going to go off the road for a while anyway, the M3, because, well, I want to strip it to put them into this one. But I'm also getting married in May next year. Hey! So that's a pretty expensive sort of thing, actually. But it should be worth it. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll probably have to kind of cut back on the old sort of luxuries like track days and things like that, because it isn't a bit of an extravagance, really, if I'm honest. And we'll go for there. The other thing that let me down a wee bit with this 328i, actually, the BBS wheels on it that came with the car, they're really nice wheels. They're off a Z4, I think, split rims. I took them off. I was going to get them refurbished. A local lad, Dan, DMF powder coat, and if you're local and you need anything powder coated, especially wheels, he's really good. DMF powder coat, check him out. I had an old E36 front bumper lying, so he's got an E36 as well that he's doing up. So he's taken the bumper in exchange to refurb a set of wheels for me. So I was thinking about getting these wheels refurbished. And when I took them off, they're all cracked. Typical BMW alloy wheels. They crack for fun. They're absolutely rubbish. So I've abandoned that idea. Because once you can get them mended and you can repair the cracks and stuff, but they're never right and they always crack again. So I'm going to get them to do a set of the Team Dynamics that I have for the M3. We'll put them on it. Get the full thing painted in either Santorino blue or another colour. Let us know in the comments if you've got any suggestions for that, and we'll do some videos on DIY respraying your car. Anyway, wish me luck. It will be a long project, this one, so there'll probably be updates here and there. It's not going to be a one video shot, that's for sure. But that's where I'm thinking at the moment. Anyway, guys and girls, hope everybody's well, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.